Hello, everybody. This is Daily App number 11, and today I want to talk about why I save most of my money. So, I save around 50% of what I earn. Luckily for me, since I'm a software engineer, I earn, like a lot in relative terms to my country. And I could, live a lavish life, full of luxuries and like buy a lot of stuff. And actually, I've got that comment from many of my acquaintances and friends that is like, oh, you're so stingy. Like, why are you still like, I don't know, like using that old clothes that you have? Why your shoes have holes? Because, well, they do. And, always my answer is like, but they still work, right? Because I think I have a very engineering mind and I'm like, okay, does it work? Does the function that it's meant to, the objective? And if it does, then it still works, and then there's no need for change, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's like a saying in software engineering. So yeah, I mean, well, that's probably like the reason or like the excuse that I say of why I don't need to buy things, but I still get it. Like, okay, I do earn good money. Why don't I like spend more? Why don't I go for a new car or like a newer car? Why don't I maybe spend a little bit more into my outfits? And and so you can have like so many things where you can like buy stuff. And also why I don't travel, that's definitely, I want it to be like a different video, like talking about why my generation, right? I was born in 97, so like around that time, it's not that they're obsessed, but why traveling is such a big thing for us. But anyway, so I don't do any of those things. Or if I do them, I don't do them as much as, I don't know, like I see my peers. And for me, honestly, the main reason is that I will only spend what I feel like it's necessary, it's the minimum, because I want to save the rest. But then, the question arises, why do I want to save so much? And honestly, I think it's because, when I look at the world, how it is right now, I feel like we all have like this sense that the world is somehow getting worse. Like things are getting harder. I'm not sure if I'm like millennial, Gen Z or whatever, but like, the newer generations, I want to say from like 95 onwards, we are the first ever generations to be poorer than our parents. Like to actually have less wealth than what they have at our age. And that is, at least to me, I mean, it's worrisome, right? Like nobody says that that's a good thing. But I feel like, to me, that is like something that's really worth like stopping to look into and like contemplate or reflect upon that fact. Because from my point of view, it seems that the world's getting rougher, honestly. Like I feel like we're going back to a sort of like a aristocracy where you have like the poor people and they live paycheck to paycheck and the rent is getting higher, so they always have like less money, and because they have less money they can't buy their house, so they have to still pay rent. And then you have the rich people, which is like, oh yeah, I have like many properties and I rent them and the rent is going up, so I always getting more money, and with that I can buy more houses. I'm saying that specifically with the housing market, but it applies to like so many other things. And that's the thing, I feel like when I say this, a lot of people will hear this and be like, yeah, that's true, that's perfectly true. But then I'm like, but why don't you do anything about it, Like to be honest, I'm not scared, but like I'm really worried about the future. I feel like the future is going to be really rough for people my age and the newer generations. Therefore, I should prepare as much as I can because I know that the rough times are coming, Because there's only like two options. And the two options is that either we continue like this and life just keeps getting rougher, which, makes good sense that I should like try to save as much right now. Or, we eventually have like some kind of like social collapse or like revolution or uprising. But then, in that chaos, something better or something worse can come up. And once again, like I'm not leaving that to chance. I'm going to prepare as much as I can. So it's actually like something that really cuts my attention about like when I see, my peers, people my age, and I know in what jobs they have. So I know that they earn probably less than me. Like I wonder, I'm like, how do you maintain such a consumerist lifestyle? Honestly, and I'm not saying like in a moral sense, like, oh, you're so bad for consuming, which, okay, maybe I do think that a little bit, but taking all the like moral compass out of the equation, I'm still thinking like, if you think that the world's getting rougher, why aren't more people saving more? And at one point I came up upon an article that said something like, yeah, a lot of like Gen Z have just like given up on like owning a house and like having nice things. So they are like, you know what, the economy is fucked. I don't think that I'll ever make it. So therefore, I'm just going to spend it all on experiences, because it's true. Like experiences, they cannot take that away from you, but also experiences are fleeting. So I mean, like once again, I get it from one point. I don't really get it from the other point. But yeah, so if anyone is watching this video, I want to know like how much do you save? Can you save? That should be like the first question, honestly. Like, can you save something? And if you can save something, how much are you saving? Do you feel like it's worth it? Do you feel like it's not? I'm honestly curious to hear about you guys. Whoever's watching this, even if you are like older and you have like your life sorted out, or the opposite. Because I feel like I'm. It's not like I'm the only one. Like I know a lot of people that save a lot of money, but it's definitely not the majority of people. So I wonder, like, what's your take on things, and how do you plan for the future? Do you think it looks as grim as I do, or do you have another provision? Well, anyway, that has been Daily App number 11. I'll see you tomorrow.